Happy Labor Day if you are listening to this episode in real time. We're just back from the Jersey Shore. We decided to take a little mini vacation to soak up the last few beach days of the summer. The last weekend before we are in full sports mode, spending as much time as a family as we can before we have to divide and conquer the scheduling conflicts that come with having 3 kids. And it can be tough when you have those conflicts, the things you need to do versus the things you have to do, competing with the things you want to do. And then the mom guilt that creeps in when you have to decide to go to one kid's thing over the other, or work and miss something altogether, or heaven forbid, choose to do something for yourself. And that brings us to this week's quote by St. Francis of Assisi. Start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible. Welcome to Mom Wife Career Life's weekly empowering episode of Monday's Motivational Mindset. And you know what that means. It's time to kickstart your week with a boost of inspiration, positivity, and a whole lot of motivation. Working moms, I get it. Mondays can be tough. We all know that. But they're also a chance for a fresh start, a new opportunity, and the perfect day to set the tone for a successful week ahead. I'm Kerri Pat, your host and fellow working mom. Every week, I'll be sharing a motivational quote and we'll break it down, share stories, and uncover the wisdom it holds for our unique journey as working moms. So whether you're getting ready for work, making those school lunches, or just enjoying a quiet moment alone, let's dive into this week's dose of motivation. Let's make this Monday count. Today's quote is by St. Francis of Assisi. Start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you're doing the impossible. This quote is a mini roadmap to finding balance, finding happiness, and feeling fulfilled, especially for working moms who often feel so overwhelmed by the constant juggling act of managing our careers, our family, personal growth, and if we're lucky, that self-care. And I want to break it down so you can see how you can use it to overcome the mom guilt. Start by doing what's necessary. When you're feeling overwhelmed, it's really easy to freeze up and feel paralyzed by your to-do list, and that's where procrastination sets in. But the first step in achieving any big goal or work-life balance is to focus on what's necessary, those essential tasks that simply must get done. For working moms, this might be ensuring your kids are actually fed, getting them to school on time, meeting crucial deadlines at work, or taking care of your basic health needs, which sometimes we put to the side. Doing what's necessary is about survival, ensuring the essential parts of your day and all your responsibilities are covered. It's about knowing your priorities. The concept of necessary can vary from person to person, but it often involves those fundamental tasks that keep your life actually functioning. For example, like preparing lunches the night before so mornings aren't so chaotic, highly recommend it. Completing the most urgent work tasks before diving into the less critical ones, or ensuring you get enough sleep, even if it means letting the laundry wait until tomorrow. So when you start by focusing on these essentials, it helps you reduce that overwhelming feeling. The key here is to identify what absolutely has to get done, and this helps you set those boundaries, stop trying to do everything at once, and really eliminate the guilt of not getting to the rest. Then do what's possible. Once the necessary is handled, you can shift your attention to what's possible. This is where you stretch just beyond the essentials, leaning into those opportunities for progress without completely burning yourself out. This could involve tackling some of the tasks that have been sitting on your to-do list for a while, or pursuing your passions, or taking the time to figure out what your passion really is, or finding ways to make your life more enjoyable and balanced, focusing on what really makes you happy. For working moms, this might look like delegating some of your tasks to your partners or your older kids to create more balance at home, sneaking in some self-care by going for a walk during your lunch break, or reading a chapter of your favorite book before you go to bed. Maybe signing up for a class or pursuing a hobby that you've put off for too long because you're putting everyone else first. Doing what's possible involves recognizing that while you may not be able to do everything, you can do something. And that something is what moves you forward. It's those baby steps we all talk about. It's about making progress at your own pace and focusing on what's within your reach at any given moment. As part of my morning routine in my prayers, I ask God to show me what that right next step is, no matter how small, and I just open my heart, open my mind, and if it comes to me, I take it. So it's all about action over perfection. And the last part is, and suddenly you're doing the impossible. The magic of this quote lies in this final step. When you are consistently doing what's necessary, and then you follow up by doing what's possible, You start to gain momentum, and over time, what once felt impossible becomes achievable. For working moms, the impossible might be feeling like you're succeeding at both work and motherhood without constantly feeling overwhelmed, that work-life balance we all crave. Finding time for self-care and hobbies or personal growth despite a packed schedule. And side note, getting up at least an hour before your kids is a great place to squeeze some of this in. Or you can actually break free from the mom guilt of not being able to do it all. It's easy to look at the big picture and feel like you're never going to reach your goals or balance everything on your plate. But by starting with small, manageable steps and continuing to build on them, you'll look back one day and realize that you've accomplished things that once seemed totally out of reach. This podcast is a perfect example. I once thought it was impossible, but I got disciplined. I planned my weeks. I made a killer morning routine that involves an hour working on this podcast. And before I knew it, what I once thought was impossible actually happened. And now I'm going through the same steps with my time management online course I'm creating. Last year, I thought it was impossible because how could I possibly work full time, be a present mom and wife, be successful at work, and have a successful podcast, and on top of it, find time to work on creating an online course? Well, it's happening a little bit every day. Some days I make a lot of progress. Some days I make none, but the impossible isn't about the grand gestures or overnight success. It's about persistence, patience, and the willingness to take things one step at a time. When you show up for yourself daily, doing what's necessary and possible, you'll suddenly find yourself standing in a place where you're achieving your version of the impossible. One of the biggest hurdles working moms face is guilt. Guilt about not spending enough time with the kids, guilt about not being fully present at work, guilt about not having a perfectly clean house or not taking care of yourself as well as you'd like. I'm raising my hand for that one. But overcoming this guilt is so crucial for your mental health and your emotional well-being. So my challenge for you this week, mamas, is to focus on doing what's necessary and letting go of the rest. It's time to break free from the guilt of not being able to do everything and start embracing the idea that you are doing enough. And here's how to tackle it. First, make a necessary list. At the beginning of the week, make a list of those essential tasks that you must get done every day. This could be as simple as get the kids ready for school, complete the most pressing work tasks, actually cook dinner, which I hate to do, but has to get done. Keep this list small and focus on those non-negotiables that keep your life functioning and bring you joy. Give yourself permission to focus only on these tasks without guilt. If you get to do more, that's great, but if not, that's okay too. Let this be your guiding light for the week. Once your necessary tasks are handled each day, choose one thing that's possible. This could be something small but meaningful, like take 10 minutes for yourself to breathe, meditate, or enjoy a cup of coffee, or spend quality time with your kids without distractions, even if it's just for a short while. Or if you really want to, tackle the household chore that's been bothering you. But I'd rather you spend time with your family or do something for yourself. But the goal is do what you can do without overwhelming yourself. This small step helps you feel so accomplished while still maintaining balance. Then you're going to let go of perfection. Challenge yourself to release the need to be perfect. It's okay if everything doesn't get done. Focus on doing your best with what's in front of you and give yourself grace for what you can't control. And last, reflect on your wins. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect on what you actually accomplished. Celebrate the fact that you've handled the necessary and possibly even more. Recognize that by showing up for yourself and your family each day, you're moving closer to achieving your impossible. And remember, becoming a mom doesn't mean that you're supposed to be perfect or do it all. It means you're doing your best, even when your best looks different from day to day. By breaking down your tasks into what's necessary and what's possible, you can overcome feelings of overwhelm and guilt and move towards creating the life you want. So this week, focus on what's necessary, embrace what's possible, and know that you're laying the groundwork for those incredible, impossible moments. And come on over and share what you're working on this week with us in our Facebook group, Work-Life Balance for Working Moms, so we can help keep you accountable. If you don't already follow the show, take a second and hit that follow button so you never miss another episode. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Wife Career Life with Kerri Pat. Before you go, if you found this podcast helpful, I would be so grateful if you would take a minute, go on over to iTunes and leave me a review. If you have other stressed out mamas in your life that you feel this podcast could help, take a screenshot of this episode, post it on your Instagram stories and tag me, and let them know that they are not alone and they can create balance in their life too. If there's a topic you'd like me to cover or you just want to connect, DM me on Instagram at mom.wife.career.life. or come on over and hang out in our free Facebook community, Work-Life Balance for Working Moms. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Wife Career Life with Kerri Pat.